Hi there, my name is Bryn, and I am an event industry expert. I've been around for about 15 years or so, which obviously isn't as long as some people, but I think it's long enough to be able to give an expert opinion about events. I've worked everything from touring all the way through to experiential, corporate, luxury, weddings, everything in between. And today we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl. And it's been in my feeds, in Instagram and Facebook, and well, I don't really use Facebook that much anymore, but Instagram and definitely my LinkedIn. It's like every second post on my LinkedIn is about the Super Bowl, so I thought, I might have to check this out. So we're going to be doing this in two parts today. First is going to be the opening ceremony, and then the other part, which is what people are mostly posting about, is going to be the halftime show. So I'm going to be talking about both of them, and just to keep in mind, this is the first time I've ever watched this. The first time I've ever watched any sort of Super Bowl performance. I mean, I've seen the halftime shows before, but I didn't watch this live, so it's going to be all new to me, and it might not be new to you, but I'm going to try and tackling some questions and sort of just talking about how they did it and just little things that, from my experience in the event industry, how they might have done it. Now, disclaimer, I have never worked a Super Bowl before. I have, surprisingly, even if I wanted to, I would not be allowed to because the US has really stringent immigration laws, and it's very difficult to get work from other countries in the US, even as an event professional. It's very, very difficult, and we have to rely a lot on locals because of their labor laws, and that's mainly labor laws and immigration laws and visas, which is really, and it was hard before Trump, but now it's more or less impossible to work in the event industry in the US. Obviously, people might jump at me and say that's not true. Yes, that's not true from a touring perspective, but from a one-off event perspective, if I wanted to go work in the US and do the Super Bowl, it would be very difficult for me to go and do that as an Australian and as someone who's got Australian and British citizenship. It'd be very difficult for me to do so. So I've never worked a Super Bowl before, and I've never worked on an event of this size before. In terms of, I've never worked on Olympic Games or like an opening ceremony for Olympic Games or a Super Bowl of this size. There's only like maybe 5 events a year which are at this sort of international standing that are done every year, and yeah, there's obviously it's pretty difficult to get onto these. So, but anyways, I'm gonna stop talking and we're gonna get straight into the video. I do love Green Day. It's not my all-time favorite band, but one of I would say my top 5. So just letting the kids in there. Yeah, they're all kids. Mostly, yeah, and photographers. Yeah, pretty much just maybe 10 kids and a photographer. His ring looks like the one ring from Lord of the Rings. See, they've mostly gone for lighting, which isn't moving head lighting, really. So I've stopped the video there. So what you can notice on the stage here, because it's during the day, not really much point in having a lot of lighting, intelligent lighting, moving head lighting with beams and stuff. So what they've tried to do instead, very smartly, have gone for things like strobes and, I wouldn't say blinders or mole-face per se, but they've gone with lights that have visually look good, with these 4 pixel sort of LED bars that they've got all around the side here. They're not actually there to provide any light to anyone or to light up the band or light up the stage. It's simply there just to fill the space and make the stage look good. And they've also got, obviously, they look like GLP JDC 2s. I'm probably wrong about that, but that's what they're definitely strobes. And they're bright enough to be able to be seen during the daytime. Because as you can see, it's like middle of the afternoon, or middle of the day, so there's not they're competing with a lot of natural lighting. So yeah, that's what they've done there, and don't think they've got any LED screens on there. Yeah, no, I don't think they do. They don't think it's very basic, very minimal, which is kind of what you need because that stage is going to need to be struck really, really quickly. Wow, that's so cool. Such a cool band. Sorry, the smallest stage they performed on in many, many years. Bum, bum, bum. And they've even got like the green coming up on that. That's cool. Oh, they're playing another one. Stopped it at the wrong time then. Now I'm trying to see. Now, they look like they are in use, maybe? I don't think they are. I'm trying to look at yeah, no, I don't think they are in use. Maybe they are, maybe they're just direct line in. But what I'm talking about is I'm talking about the amps at the back there and whether they're actually in use or not. So sometimes you have amps on stage for live performances. Well, quote unquote live performances in TV. And this is more in the TV world. That look like they're there to, like the band's playing out of them, but the amps in the background that usually the sound will come out of from the guitars will just be there for show. They're not there to actually do anything. The actual real amps are behind the stage somewhere. And it looks like that might be the case here. I can't even tell from these shots. And you can have them where they've got the mic to the amp, so that you have the amp and then have the mic standing in front of it. Or you'll have some top heads will have line outs, so you can take the line from the top of the amp and then that will go to the audio desk. Sorry, so don't know whether that's whether they're for show or not. Can't tell. And as you can see, as I was talking about before, with the lighting there on the lighting on stage, it's all very yeah, it's not functional lighting. It's just mainly there for show and to give the slight bit of tinge of color on the performers. Because as I said, it's during the day, so there's not really a lot of wiggle room here in terms of doing real creative lighting or anything like that. Nice molar staging there. Like they've got nice. It's a really nice stage, and the cables are immaculate. Like the stage is very, very clean. Yeah, very, very, very clean. Oh, what a classic song! Now, Green Day are typically a very political band, but I already know that they didn't make any political statements in this performance. Wow, there's like literally barely any crowd there. It's mostly all photographers and security. He's one of the greatest rock performers of our time, in my opinion. Oh, that's cool. Imagine being the person who's been watching that band from behind, thinking they've got a great view, and then this big-ass banner just shows up in front of them.
Welcome to the Bay! It's Super Bowl 16!
Yeah, imagine being sat behind those few rows there. God, that would be annoying. So yeah, obviously they would have gone through how that sort of would have come about. Would have been months and months of planning, a lot of pre-prep with the Green Day team and the Green Day production management and the manager of Green Day to make sure that, and with the Super Bowl team, so a lot of collaboration between the two teams to make sure that just even that very short performance was exactly that the band, was happy with, because the band obviously does have a say. It's still their performance, but obviously it's Super Bowl, so there has to be a little bit of to and fro. The Green Day can't play a full set. They obviously have to play a much smaller set, and while still, showcasing the band to be a great band. It's a lot of eyes are on Green Day in this moment to perform a great set. And even, you look down there, there's like 30, 40, 50 people down there. Nothing. And when you include, security and all that, it's not that there's not really a lot of people there to, chant them on, other than obviously the whole stadium. But, in terms of the collaboration before the show, there would have been a lot of talking to make sure that not only Green Day were happy with how the stage is set out, their set list, how things are supposed to look and sound for them, but it's also the constraints that Super Bowl has. Super Bowl only has a certain amount of airtime. It only has a certain amount of time that they want to give that performance before they need to get on with the pre-game announcements and all the pre-game presentations, and then obviously the game itself. So there's a lot of stuff that goes along behind the scenes, and then obviously after that, when we get closer to more of the operational side of things, doing the stage design, making sure that that they're able to take down this stage in the shortest amount of time possible. Now, the stage of this size would probably be very quickly able to be taken out. And because it's right near an exit, usually stadiums have a main exit at either corner of the stadium. So it'll be like a massive exit, which is usually about 2 cars worth. That's the easiest way to explain it quickly. Of space, so they can get emergency vehicles in and out. That's the reason why they're quite wide. So you could be able to take that stage apart. You'd basically just pull the stage apart and just wheel it off, and with the lighting on it. You wouldn't take down the lighting, fixture by fixture. And if you don't know what fixture means just a piece of lighting, in like a moving headlight or a park hand or something like that. That's what we call them. We call them fixtures. So you can take each individual fixture. They wouldn't take each individual fixture down. They'd just push the whole stage off. Obviously not that whole stage put together, but it would be like they'd be underneath the stage. They would have been locked into place by some sort of clip or bracket or something like that. Every stage is different, so I'm not going to go into what different types of couplers or whatever is underneath there, but they'd undo the couplers and then push each segment of that stage out, unplug all the lines, and then just push it straight out. There wouldn't be any disassembling of the stage right there on the pitch, because that just needs to go as soon as possible so the game can start.